We're synced.
We're sunk?
Oh, yeah.
Oh,
You
no!
sunk my battleship.
I didn't even know we were out in the ocean. We're all synced up. We're drowning. Ah, that gosh darn
This
Kraken.
next chapter is a real Life of Pi scenario.
I prefer Life of Cake.
Wait, so hear me out. So if we'd had like a Life of Pi RPG, it'd just be like 5 people in a boat and just wait until someone throws someone else off.
Well, you have 2 classes: small Indian boy or tiger.
The Life of Pi RPG is very diverse and immersive.
All right, Austin, do you want to paint us a word picture?
Well-
like a really pretty one? A word tapestry,
Yeah, so
maybe.
I'm going to weave my word tapestry. But before that, let's just go over, since it's been a bit since we've played.
All the bullshit.
So we
we've
concluded
done?
the last mystery. You hunted down the were rabbit, blew it right the fuck up. A couple of hard moves were made. Specifically, you now have a park ranger who is suspicious of your motives and actively wants to bring you down and blames you for all the stuff going wrong in the park system. Also, you've wiped the memories of several people at a shooting range. And
Maybe a little too far.
And the police are actively investigating that.
Let me sincerely say, my bad.
So, yeah, you done fucked it all right up. It's pretty bad for y'all. But, to be fair, the couple weeks or so that it has been since the mystery last concluded, things have been relatively quiet, at least as quiet as they get for you in your normal lives now. There haven't been really any other serious reports of mysterious activity. You seem to have avoided the pursuits of the head ranger and the police, probably.
Somehow.
Yes, maybe they probably just don't have enough information to go off because you literally wiped the memory of everybody in the area. So you got that going for you. For the most part, it's been Hawk's normal check-ins with Charlie. I'm assuming Debbie is doting very heavily on Charlie after all the commotion that has happened.
Of course.
And Hawk, you said there was something that you wanted to kind of do in the downtime since our last chapter concluded.
Yes, there is one specific thing that I would like to do. I would like to sneakily sneak Charlie into Fort Silacum.
Oh, yes.
And have him CAT scanned while he sleeps, because he gets his premonitions through his dreams, and maybe if we can see what's going on in that dome piece of his, we have another clue as to why Charlie is the way he is, and that's what I'm thinking of. But it's going to be all hush-hush, right? No, all right, here's a boy that I'm sticking in a machine while he sleeps. None of that. It's just, here is, like, hush-hush, hey man, get me into here. I don't know, just get him in there, scan him.
I think Charlie would be 100% down with that. I just don't know how he'd be able to tell Hawk, hey, I'm having a premonition, let's go to Fort Silacum.
Oh, no, that's just where you're going to sleep a few times.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, so this is, like, because if you recall last time, you had this recurring dream leading up to the mystery, and that triggered sort of the hunt. So it's not a matter of, hey, I think I'm having a vision. It's a matter of, if you're sleeping there and you happen to have this happen to you, then you can catch it on the scan. Theoretically, I'm assuming is what Hawk is proposing.
Yeah, it is all theoretical.
Debbie would like to come.
Well, yeah, I think that would be part of the option. You are the boy's mother.
But you're gonna sneak them both in to
Question, would insurance be covering this, or
It's all free, Debbie. It's all free.
Oh, okay. I just wasn't sure. I always have to check.
We haven't met our deductible yet.
What does it look like the first time you sneak them in to have Charlie sleep overnight in the fort? Like, how are you suggesting that happens?
It's nighttime. We are all in a car, probably my actual car this time, with all the grenades and whatnot in the trunk. And I pull into my employee parking spot and then walk the shortest route into the medical bay where I have already talked to the person that runs all of these scans and whatnot. And they have the CAT scan already set up, and it's got a nice little pillow, and it's soft for, like a blanket for Charlie to lay on so he's not that uncomfortable, and then we just stick him in there. And I don't think it has to be a big deal. I'm just not really telling the superiors about it. And, probably turning off the cameras for for most of us as well.
Okay.
I feel like, so Hawk, I'm sure Hawk is close with a lot of people and is just kind of saying things like to the other people in Fort Silicum, like, hey, I need you to do this. I can't necessarily tell you exactly why it needs to be a secret, but I need you to do this for me. And then just kind of like trades favors with them.
Okay. So I like this idea. In order for it to work out the way that you want it to, I think you're going to have to roll to manipulate someone, because you want the person at the med bay who runs the machine to, 1, allow you access, 2, not tell anybody about it. We need a name. We've just earthed this character. We've pulled this character from the ether.
Man, if only we had Twitter
For some reason, I'm just picturing my coworker Raymond in this situation. My coworker
what?
Raymond, he just seems like the kind of person.
Oh, your coworker Raymond. I thought you were saying like Nakoma Raymond. I was like, what kind of name is that?
The name of the med tech in our story.
Nakoma rhymes
I
with
think
Tacoma.
I think the medtech is named Nakoma Raymond.
Well, there we go. Problem solved.
I'm assuming you would have approached Nakoma before you sneak Charlie in.
Absolutely. Yes.
You head over to the med bay at Fort Silicum, and you find Nakoma, who is organizing some shelves. She's very particular with the way things are stored in the med bay, and she turns to greet you and says, "Well, hey there, Hawk. How's it going?"
Hey there, Nakoma. Actually, you were the person I'm trying to see. That's exactly what he
hey,
says
are you having a stroke? Do you need me to call someone?
Yeah, I need you to look at my brain, and also while you're at it, I need you to look at somebody else's brain as well, and I need it to be a little bit hush hush. And I know that sounds like a lot. Here's the situation. I'm just gonna lay it all out.
But hold on,
You're real
before
nice.
we start, do you have the brain on you? Is it like a separate brain or?
Nah, it's in the person.
Oh, okay,
still. I
okay.
need to use the
I
cat.
was gonna say
Yeah.
I'm way better at reading the machine. If you brought me an actual brain, I might be a little. Anyway, sorry. Continue.
Yeah, no. All right. So we've got a kid. His name's Charlie. Charlie's a real good kid. Gets a little bit of spooky nightmares that may or may not come from some other creepy dimension or the devil himself. I don't know. Anything's out there. The monster that we killed a few weeks ago, you remember that giant rabbit that was in the files that I told you about? You stitched me up real good.
Yeah, I remember.
After
I
that
remember
fight?
that, and yeah, I know Charlie. I know who you're talking about.
Thing is, Pack's a little bit on my ass about this boy, and he's a good kid that wouldn't harm nobody, and therefore, I'm asking you if we can scan his head and keep the results a little bit to ourselves. I'm thinking like sneak him in, get him a CAT scan while he sleeps, because he gets the nightmares.
Yeah, boy, Hawk, I would love to help you, but that's asking a lot. I don't know if I can. I mean, it's one thing to do the scan. I'm okay with that, even though the science isn't completely sound on that front. But it's another thing to keep it from Pike and presumably everyone else. I'm not sure. I don't know. I don't know if I can do that, Hawk.
I understand that, but what would it take me to do in order to get you to do it? And I'm saying that because I just rolled manipulate somebody and rolled a 7, which is a mixed success, which means that is the outcome, right? Is that what it is?
On a 7 and 9, they'll
you?
do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it. If you ask too much, they'll tell you what, if anything, it would take for them to do it.
Well, I don't know what I would do right now.
That's what I'm thinking. I'm trying to think, especially because we've just birthed this character. What are her motivations? I don't know. Well, hold on. Do you think you could do something for me? As long as we're talking off the books?
I'm certainly one to trade favors when the need arises.
So that what's their name? The wing, the angel thing y'all run around with?
Oh, Alex.
Do you think that maybe
Oh my God, are you interested
No, oh god,
in them?
oh god, no, please. Are
you interested
no,
in them?
well, okay, in a sense. What I'm saying is I don't get a lot of
Look, I ain't a matchmaker.
I don't get a lot of the hands-on action in the lab. Okay, I'm sorry. Oh,
Hawk is looking a little bit horrified right now.
Alex
okay.
is the one that's supposed to be doing the lay on hands here.
Nakoma spins around because her face is red, and she does this very exaggerated hand motion to center herself, and she turns around and she's like, I would be interested in also running some medical tests on Alex for research purposes.
As well
only.
as dating him?
No, so, Hawk, I mean,
Oh, tests on Charlie and also
yeah. If
Alex,
I'm gonna
not
test Charlie, I feel like I'd like
dating
to do
Alex and also tests.
Yeah,
I got
yeah.
it. I got it.
Yeah, that's exactly what I meant, and nothing else.
You know what? It's a deal. Sticks
And
out his
she
hand.
shakes it. When do you think y'all are coming by?
Alright, so here's the deal. It's a recurring nightmare scenario that he's got going. So after he has the first one, I'll let you know, and then the next night we'll have him in here every night until we can figure out what's going on.
You just give me a... Well, maybe don't call me. Maybe just come by and talk to me in person.
We do both work for the government. We know they're both consistently listening
for sure.
on every
Yeah,
conversation
I'm gonna have
that we
to,
have.
Yeah, real hush hush. All right, well, you just let
Yeah.
me know, and we'll get on it. That happens relatively quickly after you wrap up the first mystery in order to kind of sort of get ahead of the game for the things to come that you presume are happening. And Charlie, I assume you're okay with this. Debbie,
Oh boy,
you're all going along with it.
Anything to find out more about it, Charlie is down for.
And Debbie, how have you been handling your time immediately following the mystery, the were-rabbit?
Well, it's always good to start your day with a big breakfast. So one thing I've been doing is making sure that Charlie every day is getting the right amount of carbohydrates and proteins, and he's getting 2 vitamins, a B12 and a D3 every single day because while he's at school, I can't always check up on what he's eating. So that's how I have been taking care of Charlie. As for my own health, I try to spend some time reading every day, and I pray every morning. I have my time with the Lord, and that has really helped me as a person. And that's really all I've been doing. Nothing too out of the ordinary for me.
What time of the year was it when the monster hunt happened?
We'll say that was early fall.
Early fall. Okay.
Is when the first mystery happened.
So finals are coming up, and Charlie's been throwing himself into studying as a way of coping with everything he just saw, and the fact that I think he's starting to come to the realization that this is not going to go away, and that monsters are that he's got to confront his powers relatively soon.
Okay. Have you been sleeping well? You haven't had any more dreams for the time being, but other than that, are you sleeping okay, or are you trying to stay up and pull a bunch of all-nighters?
I think the night right after the hunt that he slept the best he's ever slept in a while. The following days after the hunt, I think it's just been kind of flip-flopping back and forth. Some days have been better than others, but generally he's been sleeping all right, which I feel is about to change pretty quickly.
You're right. Why don't you roll for your pre-mystery roll?
this is plus weird. Okay, here we go. On a 9, on a 7 to 9, you get a clouded image of something bad that is yet to happen. Mark experience if you stop it. On a miss, so I get a clouded image. Not as clear as before.
After this kind of back and forth sleep, some nights better than others, you're worried about, obviously you don't want to get more nightmares, but also worried about finals. Kind of all the stress of everything on your plate sort of starts to catch up to you, and one night you have a dream. It's not clear, but it makes you feel uneasy. You feel like you're floating, almost as if you're underwater. You hear muffled, submerged sounds surrounding you. You know that you're not supposed to be where you are, but you don't actually know where that is. You feel uneasy, you feel panicked, you start moving as fast as you can, but you know that thing that happens in dreams where you can't run, like you're pushing as hard as you can, and that's happening to you. You're trying to push through this state that you're in. You're panicked, you're hungry, you're not satisfied. Your vision is murky, it's clouded by the environment in front of you, but you see a light, and you start to approach it, and you burst through the surface of this material, which you find to be water, and as you do, people, creatures, everything around you starts to scream, and this cacophony of frightened noises jolts you awake, and you are breathing heavily in a sweat, and you have just had yet another terrible dream. What do you do?
First thing Charlie does is he would do his typical coping mechanism of grabbing his pocket watch, but then he kind of gets a slight smile, and there's a bit of adrenaline or excitement in his eyes, and then he goes to his phone and calls Hawk immediately. Hey, they're coming. Oh wait, I'm sorry. Bring.
God damn it, Charlie. How'd you even get this ringer on my phone? When'd you get a hold
You
of
ask
it?
too many questions.
Okay. Oh shit, Charlie, are you spooky, Charlie?
I just thought that freak you out a little bit.
You're legally obligated to tell me yes or no if you were spooky.
I mean, I was spooky Charlie about 30 seconds ago, but I think the dreams are coming.
It is 3 o'clock in the morning, so I'm assuming that it was
Yeah.
a dream.
Do I need to pack up Mom and a fresh pot of coffee?
We'll wait for the scanning of your insides for
Do you have to
tomorrow
say
night.
it like that? That sounds so invasive.
You just told me that I asked too many questions in a creepy voice. I get the phrase how we're going to scan your brain however the hell I want.
Fair enough.
I'm going to go to sleep again, and tomorrow, scan that dome piece of
Okay,
yours.
whatever you say, Mr. Hawkins.
I hope you have a wonderful night, and also please call me Agent Hawk, and please get this ringer off of my phone the next time you see me.
In a dark tone.
Sweet
Never.
dreams. Yes, sweet
And he hangs
dreams,
up, and then he does not go to sleep. He immediately goes to his computer and starts looking up large bodies of waters around Tacoma.
Okay. So
Okay, good news. The Pacific Ocean.
Fair point.
So,
so really
Darn.
you could be anywhere.
Yeah, that's fair. That is a good point.
You really honed in on the source of the mystery this time.
I forgot where we're on the coast.
Yeah, so Pacific Ocean in big bold letters and underlined is at the top of your page. And the next night comes and you do exactly what you said. I guess you sneak the whole gang in?
okay, so I sneak, quote unquote, Charlie and Debbie in. You know, Wilson knows that they're coming. I'm assuming Wilson will basically do whatever I ask him to do, it seems like. And I just tell him, hey, I need you to turn off the cameras in the med bay for a little while. And I'm sure he does it. We didn't cover that, but I'm assuming that's what happens.
I feel like okay, so a little bit of OOC. I feel like Wilson won't ask that many questions regarding actual mission stuff. Like he's very curious about monsters and things like that, but as far as if you said this is what we're going to do, he wouldn't think that it wasn't allowed, right? So he wouldn't blow your cover on purpose. He might let it slip because he doesn't know that it's supposed to be a secret.
That's fair. I like that. So he does it, and we get to Nakoma Raymond, and she's got it all set up. And then after we get there, then Alex will then poof into existence.
You approach with Charlie and Debbie in tow, and Nakoma is there like she said she'd be, and she greets you, but is immediately a little bit surprised because, well, Debbie is there.
Oh, hi. It's nice to meet you.
Hi. Are you Alex?
Oh, no, my name is Debbie, and you are...
Oh, I'm Dr. Nakoma Raymond. Hey, Hawk, who...
Oh, this is the boy's mother. She knows all about the nightmares and the dreams and stuff.
Oh, yeah.
It's just a comfort kind of thing.
Yeah, okay, I'm just a little suspect about the... You know what? Doesn't matter, you're here.
Yeah, and if you have any of those papers to fill out, I know all of his medical history. He doesn't know how to spell stuff. I know he's in college, but he can spell things on his own, but he really can't. So, anything important, you need to ask me first.
No, Debbie, that's just fine. Hawk and I have already been over the procedures.
Okay.
So, Charlie, if you just want to step up here and rest your little head down, I'll make sure you're all cozy. We'll make sure the machine's working. I just want to do a couple quick tests before we do so.
What did you say, Dr. Raymond?
It's at that moment that Alex pops in, directly right next to Charlie.
Oh, shit! Oh, my God. Whew.
Hello, I didn't know how long to wait.
Oh, y'all can't do that to me. Oh. Okay, now that's Alex. Do I have that right?
Do you smell the coffee?
Oh, I do. What the hell? Where's that coming from?
That's Alex.
That's my musk.
Hey, do you want an Altoid, or?
No.
You know what? Okay, thank you for coming. I did not expect that kind of entrance, Hawk. You failed to warn me about the particulars of this little setup you got going on.
There is a very, very long list of things that I could warn you about Alex, but they've got so many things wrong with them that the list was just too
Hopefully
long.
we'll get down to the mystery of it all. So, Charlie, I'm just going to do a few standard tests, take your blood pressure, measure your heartbeat, reflexes and all that. That okay with you?
I might be a little embarrassed about the reflexes, but yeah, that sounds okay.
Well, what do you mean?
Let's just move on by that.
So, how long does it take for you to react when she hits your knee with a hammer?
A little too long.
Boy, y'all weren't kidding. All right, is that the spookiness? Is that a side effect? Do we know?
No, that's 100% Charlie.
All right, good brand you got going. Well, everything appears to be normal. You've got healthy blood pressure, BMI.
We all know that's bullshit.
Sorry?
Sorry, moving on.
Oh, okay. Well,
I apologize. I don't know who he's been hanging out with over there and, at the university, but geez Louise.
now, okay, that's fine. Charlie, would you mind just make yourself comfortable? We got a pillow, a blanket for you. You just lay down in this machine. I'll get it all fired up here.
Yes, ma'am. Sorry about the cursing. Sorry, Bob.
Yeah, hey. She leans in. She's like, we'll just chalk that one up to the spooky. What say you?
She just gives him a thumb up.
Okay. And she turns on the machine, and you slowly back your head into the machine and try to get cozy, as weird as it is with all these people around you. After you're all settled, Nakoma turns to Alex. Now, Alex, I just have a few questions, I guess. What are you?
That is an interesting question. Some people say angel, celestial. I've heard many, many things.
Blessing from our Lord.
And how did you get here?
I'm here to protect him. And I'm just pointing at Charlie.
Oh, okay. Is there anybody else like you that...
There's no one quite like me exactly, but...
Well, okay. Are you the only, whatever you said, angel, celestial?
I do not know of any other ones that are on the earth.
I suppose you can't really tell me all the secrets, right?
Nope.
Alright, I figured. Okay, well, I'm just for my own personal interest, and Hawk, you can verify all the cameras and speakers are turned off, and I don't have any. I'm not taking any magic notes or sending this anywhere. I just want to do a couple medical tests on you, if that's all right with you.
Sure.
She hooks up a couple of like the little sensors, one on your chest, and she tests a few machines. Takes your blood pressure, your height, your weight, And for all intents and purposes, you come across as relatively human. Your interaction with Nakoma is otherwise kind of uneventful. She's monitoring the machines. Nothing seems to be happening. Charlie, we'll say a few hours later, you've managed to settle in. Debbie, I assume, are you staying up the whole time, or have you slumped over in a chair? What is your sleep schedule like?
I am slumped over in my chair over a copy of some paperback Stephen King book.
Okay,
I thought you were
great.
reading 50 Shades of Grey.
Oh, I finished that one.
And then she probably went through the Christian version, which is called 50 Shades of Prey.
Boo.
No, I keep those parts of my life very separate parts of my life.
Now, I will say that I 100% missed the opportunity when we went back and forth between 50 Shades of Grey audiobook and Christian rock to morph the two into 50 Shades of Prey. And I apologize for taking 2 weeks in order to figure out that
Yeah,
joke.
you let us all down.
Yeah.
Fucking sad.
How dare you?
Not only is that not fair to us, your friends and co-hosts, but it's not fair to the listener. Okay, you've deprived
I
them
know.
of quality content, and you have to live with that for the rest of your life. Charlie, you end up having that same dream. You think your vision is clouded, murky, and eventually you pierce this sort of murky veil and are awoken by a cacophony of screaming. You wake up, and how do you react?
Same as before, coping mechanism, and then the same kind of look of excitement on his face. But then he, starts running over to where everyone else is situated, like, What'd you find? What'd you find?
Upon your waking up,
Mhm.
you are the only one awake. So you running over and be like, "What'd you find? What'd you find?" kind of jolts Nakoma and everyone else awake. Oh Jesus!
It happened.
What
It happened.
Oh, okay. Let me pull up the results here. Now I should warn you. Now I'm not an expert, and I don't. So I'm not super keen on the whole mind reading science. Jury's still out on that one, I think, but I'll see what I can find. So Nakoma finds this and says, "Well, that's interesting. I don't think I've ever seen something like this before." Now, Hawk, you know that we don't have quite great technology here, and well, I do what I can, but I've got limited funding and knowledge, so I might not be the best person to interpret these results. But you see this right here, and she points to a kind of a lit up space on one particular point in the scan, kind of toward the center of the brain, and she points out that now this activity right here is sort of an anomaly, especially for everything going on during this time. Now you can see this kind of low activity in the brain. That's pretty typical for normal sleep and dreams, but this right here, I don't know what that is. And like I said, Hawk, I don't think I can interpret. I'll do some research, but I can't give you an answer right now. You might have to go see an expert or something on that one.
Thank you so much, Nakoma. I appreciate it. And I know Charlie does too. Even if we didn't get the answers, we at least got a map to work with. to
Charlie
find
nods, thank you in the background.
Yeah, no problem. And hey, just for future reference, maybe don't have Alex pop in to my space like that again.
I mean, we can't really stop him.
Oh, he's never coming back here. Time to get out of here, fellas, before everybody gets in here for the
Okay,
day shift.
Alex is gone.
Oh, Jesus Christ. Hey, can he just do that all the time?
Yep.
God,
Yeah.
I hate it. I hate it so much.
Welcome
You get
to
used
my
to it
life,
after a while.
Nakoma. No, you don't. You really don't,
Well,
Charlie.
he's been with me
Not as an
my
adult.
entire life. It's just if I turn around and say Alex, he's just kind of there.
You have grown up with weird, spooky powers that have given you the ability to do things to other people, and we have not. It is strange for us, though it is probably normal for you. I will give you that. It is time to go home.
Well, while
Thank
we're
you
up,
so much,
we don't want to
Nakoma.
investigate my premonition?
It's like 3 in the morning.
I'm assuming you told me all about the dream on the way up there, and you will tell me again about it on the way back, like we know about your
okay.
premonition. And I can promise you that right now, as we have talked about it, the first thing that has gone through Hawk's head is, I gotta go check out the fucking zoo as soon as I can. / aquarium. On point
Hawk just
defiance.
needs to see some penguins right now.
I gotta go see them fucking penguins. Those things are amazing. Have you looked at them? They're like birds, but they can't fly, but they swim great. They're like fish birds. They're like the fish version of birds. They give each other pebbles to show that they're love, and if that ain't the goddamn cutest thing you've ever heard, then I don't know what
Can
could be.
Can I get a guest commercial for Agent Hawk about the zoo, specifically the penguin exhibit?
We got a new penguin exhibit, and goddamn, if these aren't the best birds there is.
We got all kind of birds down here at the Point Defiance Zoo and Aquarium. We got little swimming birds, them's called penguins. We got big-ass running birds, also known as ostriches. And we also got all these freaking echo birds, also known as parrots. They'll say whatever the fuck you want them to say.
Whatever the
Watch
fuck.
this. Yeah, look at that. Anyways, come on down to the zoo and aquarium. I wish it was 100% aviary, but it does not matter. It's still a cool
Yeah, we got
place.
bears and shit, but that ain't what we're talking about.
But that ain't what we're talking about. I've blown up a giant rabbit with a grenade, and I don't give a shit about them anymore. I'm talking about
I like how that
birds.
implies that you know everything you need to know about rabbits now that you've blown one up, and now you just want to blow up some birds.
So I want to go to the zoo tomorrow,
Okay.
I guess, is my first thought. That's my first investigation.
Maybe look at like
area.
ravenous creatures, things that are always eating that can never be satisfied.
I guess on the way back, because Charlie's still probably wide
Yeah.
awake. Hey, Charlie, you want to take a break from your studying for a while tomorrow, and we'll go check out the zoo and see if you feel any weird connections to the brains. This is not me trying to be your father. I am not trying to do this with a let's go to the zoo trip. I think that the monster might be in the zoo/aquarium, and that is where we need to go check it out next.
That sounds like a great plan.
Yeah, like what you described was what I saw at Ocean World down in San Antonio when I was visiting Texas a while back, and that killer whale, I'll tell you what, shampoo. He's
Can we
great.
not say SeaWorld for legal reasons?
Yeah. I don't want to associate this podcast with SeaWorld.
Ocean Planet.
That's fair enough.
Ocean planet, yes.
Ocean plan.
Down there,
Waterworld? Can we do it with
Ocean
Waterworld?
Planet.
Well, that's gonna get us into even more legal issue.
That's what we're going with. Sound
Sounds
good?
sounds amazing. I'll see you there.
Well, that actually works out pretty great because when you go by Fort in the morning before you do your normal rounds and then go pick up Charlie, you actually get approached by, you guessed it, Commander Pike.
Hey, Pike, how you
Hey,
doing today?
listen, Hawk, I need you to go check something out for me.
Well,
can you do that?
I will do that.
Okay, yes.
You are literally my boss. If you tell me to do something, I'm contractually
like to keep-
obligated. And actually, we work for the government, so legally as well.
Yeah,
I do have
I
to
just
do
like
it.
to keep some semblance of formality in this, and it doesn't matter.
Now, let me say I'm also glad to do it. I do not just do things for you just because I have to. I do them because you are a good commander, and I like to follow your
Okay,
orders.
Can you just go to the zoo, please?
Oh, hell yeah, they got penguins down there.
Yeah, dude, them shits are pretty cool. But it's not a
It's crazy.
it's not a sightseeing mission. We got word of some weird activity happening there. They just closed off one of the exhibits in the aquarium system. They say it's a renovations, but according to some chatter that we're picking up, I don't think that's the whole truth of it.
Look, I know we don't have official pull, given that our entire agency is dedicated to keeping monsters secret. But is there any way that you could get me like a badge that looks pretty official to where I can just walk on in instead of sneaking
Already
around
on it. Why don't you head over to Wilson? He's drummed up something for you.
All right, I'll do that. I'll see you later,
And
Commander Pike.
make sure you figure out what's going on there. You report back. You hear? So you trot down over to Wilson, and almost as soon as you broach the threshold of his space, he's like, "Oh, Hawk, I got something for you." And he kind of rummages around his very messy desk full of Mountain Dew bottles and Dorito bags. "I got you this access badge. You're gonna be going undercover, sort of. I'm gonna need you to assume the identity of someone who works for the EPA. Okay, can you do that?
I love the environment. I recycle everything that I own. I've got 17 compost bins in my backyard, and I also own a garden.
I think you might be overselling it a little bit, but that's fine. So you're from the EPA. We've made a call to the aquarium. You're coming in for some routine maintenance. I was really cryptic, but we're a government agency, so we can kind of get away with a lot of bullshit. You should have free reign. I've got you hooked up with the head of their marine biology team. Where was her name? She's called Dr. Annie Barnes? Yeah, Dr. Annie Barnes. She's the head of their...
So, like, not a specific Barnes, but, like, Annie Barnes.
That's a good one, Hawk. I didn't... Oh, you got me. Oh, man, I didn't see that one coming.
Yeah, give me the badge. I'll talk to you later, Wilson.
Okay.
Thanks. Cryptic,
Okay.
EPA...
No, just
nothing else?
you should be able to meet with her, and hopefully you'll get some insight as to what's going on.
I hope so too. You're the man, Wilson.
Thanks. All right.
What happens at the zoo?
Yeah, we're going to the zoo.
Well, at the
Oh, I did. I also packed sandwiches for everybody because
You
the
guys wanna
zoo
come
food
with
is
us,
very
Mom?
expensive. Oh, I assumed I was.
I mean, that does make sense.
Surely Alex will show up at some point.
What would probably happen is that we're walking around the zoo. You and Debbie are kind of walking around the zoo, and I'm off to do my business. And then you say, man, I'm sure Alex would really like to see all these animals. And then they just appear right there because you said the word Alex.
I like to believe that Alex has just, like, the slightest a bit of telepathy with Charlie. Just, like, knows whenever Charlie's talking about Alex.
I'm assuming Charlie would be aware of this link that he has with Alex. So if he goes to like a quiet part of the aquarium and goes and just says Alex 3 times.
Up.
Into the mirror.
I don't want to tell you how to play your characters, but I also think you could just go pick Alex up.
Well, that's no fun.
Then you gotta pay for a whole nother person.
But I did bring a sandwich for Alex as well. So just let them know.
Mom, we should go pick up Alex. On our way, we just stopped by Good Coffee as we're passing through downtown on the way to the zoo. Alex, is there anywhere in particular you'd like to go check out, or have you seen all these animals before?
I have observed animals.
All of these? Or is like just the planet Earth in general? Anything that inhabits us?
You've seen an animal, you've seen them all.
If we have a particular thing, can we go check out the sharks? I have a feeling it's sharks.
I will just say that the whole time we are at the zoo, Alex is not looking at the animals. Alex is just watching all the people watch the animals.
You guys make your plan. You wander around where you want to go.
As a question, what areas of the zoo are closed off?
So I want to get into that, but first I want to talk about real quickly. So Hawk, what is your plan for meeting up with everyone? Before or after?
It will be after I meet with
Where are we
Annie
gonna meet?
Barnes.
Meet us at
I
the
will
penguins.
find you. You guys do know my weakness for the
I
penguin
feel like
race.
it's like it looks like they're wearing a suit and you're always wearing a suit, so you feel like a kindred spirit there.
Solve that mystery. All right. So now to do the post-mystery level up. We find out something new about a character. Yes.
Loves penguins.
Loves penguins. Experience.
Let's do Hawk first. So you get to the zoo. You make your way through the entrance. You flash your badge or whatever. How does Hawk approach these kinds of situations? What's your undercover persona like?
Exactly the same as my regular
I believe
persona. I am not a secret agent, or like some kind of criminal that needs to pretend to be somebody different. I'm just me. No other reason for me to go to the zoo besides to look at penguins. So I just say that I am Agent Hawk from the EPA. Hey, nice to meet you. My name's Agent Hawk. I work for the EPA. I was sent down here. You guys got a call ahead of time, so I'm assuming that I do not have to pay the regular admission price in order to get in here and do my job. If you need to contact anybody, I'm supposed to be meeting up with Annie Barnes.
You look official. Why don't you just go to administration, and they'll handle it.
Good. Can you point me the way to administration, please? Rebecca?
Yeah, so if you go through the entrance through the Pacific Rim Plaza and you make a right, it should be, you go past the cafe and it should be right straight in front of you.
You guys got a whole section dedicated to Pacific Rim? That movie
Yeah, it was
series?
a good movie. I don't know why they named it that, but that's not what it is.
Alright, that is good to know, because I will tell you what, machines that size would destroy the environment, and I would have to shut that shit down right here and there.
Oh, haha, that's because you're from the... Okay.
Yeah, I'm from the EPA. That's a little
Okay,
joke.
sir, I have...
Alright,
there's
bye.
Okay, next, please. Next, please. So you walk over to administration. You're able to open the door and sort of get to a reception type area, and the receptionist greets you and says, yes, hello, what can I do for you?
I'm here to meet with Annie Barnes. My name is Agent Hawk of the EPA. You should have gotten a call ahead of time that I'm going to be here.
Let me just check. And she click, 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 on her computer. Like, oh, yes, I see you're supposed to be meeting... Okay, let me just give her a quick call. You can feel free to sit down. We have some nice nautical magazines that you can peruse at your leisure.
And I pick up like a National Geographic.
Straight to the penguins, or...
Straight to the penguins.
Okay, so it doesn't take too long. After about, we'll say 5 minutes of some good penguin browsing, Annie Barnes enters. You can tell that this is presumably the woman you're supposed to be meeting with. She is sort of like mid to young 50s. She's got sort of graying hair, glasses. She's got a white coat on with a badge hanging off of it. Looks relatively important and knowledgeable, and says, oh, yes, Agent Hawk?
Yeah, it's nice to meet you, Miss Barnes.
Dr. Barnes, please.
Oh, hell yeah, Dr.
Yes,
Barnes.
well, right this way, let me, I guess, give you a quick tour? Is that usually how these things happen?
Yeah, I mean, the whole process is I just need a quick tour of the layout of the place. I'm going to need access to a few locations. I just got to check everything is up to code. There are a lot of weird things that can go wrong in a zoo or aquarium that will not make it environmentally friendly or safe for the animals, and that's
Oh
just
yes,
why I'm here.
I completely agree. I
Yeah.
am very dedicated to the environment myself. That's why I took this position here. How many? Oh, I guess it was 15 years ago. I guess very much wanted to maintain all the aquatic life here. So after leading you through the administration building out a rear entrance that would normally be inaccessible to normal visitors to the zoo and aquarium, she takes you through the South Pacific Aquarium. This is the main building of this area of the park that's connected to things like the aviary, the tide pool. It houses the sharks, and eventually connects with one of the cafes on site. So you walk through a few exhibits. You pass by some small fish, standard little placards about where you can find them, what their habits are like, what they eat, where sort of the problems they're facing in modern society, humans affecting the environment. And she walks you through a series of doors that say employees only, and you enter a sort of small lab area. Sometimes, when you go to the zoo, you can get kind of peeks of people doing random tests or kind of back rooms that you think you're not supposed to see. It's like that. There's just quite a few of these little areas. You pass by a room in which someone has a few little different cases of, they look like snails, and they're doing some kind of tests. There's a couple of people on computers kind of typing away, and she leads you back into her office in these parts, and your tour commences. She says, well, this is our research area. Surely you will have plenty of time to examine the exhibits from the outside on your own. I figured you would want to see sort of the back end. Is that a correct assessment?
That is 100% correct, Dr. Barnes.
So this is the primary source of all the research that comes out of the aquarium here. Like I said, we're very dedicated to marine wildlife and preserving it. It's a big travesty what humans have done to the environment, and I can't stand it. And so I took this position to really help, and I feel like we've made some great strides. So this is the center of all that research. We collect data on things happening inside the zoo, how our creatures are reacting, as well as we take data from other studies and things that we do sort of in the immediate area around Tacoma and Point Defiance about the wildlife, and share that data with agencies such as yourself and scholarly works and things like that. So that's the general operation of things that happen here. Let me take you through some of the labs. And for the most part, she shows you labs that don't seem particularly like state of the art or miles ahead of any other research lab. So just in your kind of blanket observation, there's nothing that really checks out a red flag in this area, at least. And as you walk back, you make your rounds through this research area and walk back through the building. You pass by the entrance to the tide pool, which you notice has been closed off.
What is that, the tide pool?
Yes. We've been undergoing some construction lately, and like you said, we're always wanting to make sure things are up to code, and not only that, but providing the best experience for our guests, and so we've had to sort of shut that down and make sure that it's ready for the new launch of tourist season next summer.
What exactly are y'all doing in order to improve it?
I don't know. I'm not in charge of park operations. I just kind of do the research with my team and explain what's kind of going on in the environment. They just thought it should look nicer, I guess. I don't really know. I don't have a say in what ultimately gets done to the park. It is about money, unfortunately, after all.
Good point. Well, thank you for letting me know. And then I'm going to go through the rest of whatever she wants to show me before I circle back
The
around
rest of
and
your
check it
trip
out.
is pretty uneventful. Like I said, standard research areas, sort of back employee access. There's a couple of areas, such as the door that you first entered in, that require an employee badge to scan in. So it's not like any tourist could get in there, and it's not necessarily like anybody on staff, like who's working the front desk, could get back in there. So it's specifically limited to the staff here that work in this particular area of the aquarium. But other than that, like I said, everything's kind of uneventful. You go back through the labs, you see where the operation happens, and obviously you now know that the tide pool is what has been closed off.
Eventually I'm going to call Charlie and have him come over to the tide pool just so he can get a read. But I didn't know if you wanted to have them, RP what it's like for them to be at the zoo
Now
or
we can
whatever.
certainly do that. While Hawk is getting his lay of the land, how are the three of you enjoying your zoo time?
I think Charlie would definitely be looking for the area that's closed down. What area is currently off limits for general?
So what is it exactly that you're trying to accomplish here?
Ooh, what if I use my new ability, Tune In, and see if I can figure out where the creature is at right now? Do I have to be seeing the creature? Or do I just like a thing I can do at any point?
Let me read this real quick. You can attune your mind to a monster or minion. Roll plus weird on a 10 plus, hold 3. On a 7 9, hold 1. On a miss, the monster becomes aware of you. You spend one hold to ask the keeper one of the following questions and gain +1 on going while acting on the answers. So the questions are: where is the creature right now? What is it planning to do right now? Who is it going to attack next? What does it regard as the biggest threat? How can I attract its attention?
So, do you need to see
I
it?
feel like you might at least need an idea of what it is.
What it is.
What it is. Okay.
Or what-
just to
or,
focus my magic on.
Yeah, because right now you really don't have.
Well, then how could I ask the question, where is the creature right now, if I have to see it?
Well, but you might at least know what it is. Like, you haven't had any interaction with this monster at all yet. So once you know where it is and kind of get a sense of what's causing this premonition that you're having, then I think you can tune into that. But as of now, you really don't have a clear idea of what the monster looks like, what's the threat. Because, like I said, because your vision was kind of blurry, and you don't have a clear-cut idea of where you're supposed to go or what you're supposed to be doing. I think you need a least a little more connection with it before you can tune into it.
Fair enough. Alex, Debbie, do you guys have a plan?
Alex is just
What is Debbie's favorite part of the zoo / aquarium? I have to know
well,
this.
my favorites are always the African safaris. I love the giraffes, and I like their tongues, and I also like the otter exhibits. You know, I'm really up for anything that's very basic. I like the basic, zoo things. I'm not ashamed of that.
No one said you were. You should be, Mom.
Well, I just assume it's a little bit uncool.
Well, do
but,
you guys have any plans on how we should proceed? And, after telling you about the dream, do you feel like we should go towards the aquariums? Or is that too straightforward? What do you guys think?
Alex is of zero help right now. Alex is just watching all the people around.
Oh, sweetie, I have no idea what's going on. I've just been looking at all the animals.
Well,
I think about that time you would probably get a call. I guess you'd get a text saying to come to the tide pool if they're just looking
that
at
makes
animals.
sense. Let's get moving towards the tide pool, guys. Trying to draw too much attention. Alex, stop looking at people. It's weird.
But they're so interesting. That's why I became, is to observe the animals. That's what I'm doing.
Yeah, not those animals. People come here to look at the other animals in the cages, as morbid as that sounds.
Humans.
Aren't we all just animals in cages?
Whoa, man.
Whoa. It sounds like you took the red pill.
No, I took a big spliff. That's what I took. Oh, yeah, that's a good ish right there.
I nearly gargled all over
Let's go
myself.
to the tide pool. Charlie grabs both
Holy
Alex
shit.
and Emmy by the hand and starts walking them towards the tide pool.
Now, I'm gonna hold on real quick. Give me 11 minutes and 46 seconds. I'm gonna watch this late night joint set.
Charlie casts Jinx on the keeper.
Hello. Well, welcome to Charlie and the Monster Factory. I am taking over as Keeper of Monsters and Mysteries, and we're currently at the tide pool. Oh, Austin's back. He can take over now. They're at the tide pool.
Okay, you're at the
Austin,
tide
for
pool.
that.
So the tide pool has a couple of entrances, as it were, like a couple of viewing areas. So there's the one that you would get to if you're outside of the building, just kind of on the path, and you can also go through the building on the inside and kind of look through glass, and it kind of goes like underneath. So if you're standing outside on the pathway, you just get that surface view, and you can see outside above the surface. But if you're inside, you can kind of get a little bit under the water and look that way. Mm-hmm. Or you would be able to if the tide pool wasn't closed off.
Hmm.
Now, Charlie, have you and Debbie been here before, like in your life?
Oh, certainly.
So you would kind of know the layout of the zoo. Things have changed a little bit over the years, but you would generally know the layout of the zoo and aquarium, and you would know what you're missing by the tide pool being closed.
Okay. So there is the outside viewing ramp. Is that what we're on right now? Or
You tell me. Did you go through the inside exhibits, or did you go? Are you looking at the outside, or where sort of a fence has been erected around everything, and you can't really see?
What is the easiest way for me to get in and flash my EPA
So
badge?
to do that, you would likely, if you were to go back through, you might need to go through administration to meet somebody to escort you, because as of now that you've finished your sort of tour of the research areas, Dr. Barnes has resumed her normal work.
So I can't just waltz in, and if somebody is like, "Hey, you can't be here," I'm like, "Yes, I can."
For the time being, you have a general, like, if you let somebody know, people on staff are aware that you are around, so you can get into a couple places. Probably not any top secret rooms if such a thing existed, but you would be able to get into a few areas.
Yeah, and I guess I will say that I do have to get into the tide pool and then use some reasoning, like kids put their hands in there in order to touch the creatures. I have to make sure that there's nothing that's going to hurt children, because if there is, that's a big problem.
Okay, so let's say to do that you approach from the outside. There are a few people on staff that are around that area. It looks like they're kind of moving things around, but they have a general lock on the entrance of this tide pool. So it looks like you wouldn't be able to get in from the inside, at least not from where you would view the exhibit normally. You'd have to go through one of the back channels in the building or through this fence that the staff is in front of. And so as you approach, they say, "Oh, sorry, sir, the tide pool's closed down for construction. We can't let anybody in. Too dangerous."
I flash my badge, and I let them know who I am. I'm Agent Hawk of the EPA. In order to finish up my inspection of this place, I do need to get in there. It is a tide pool. There are children that touch the water. I gotta make sure all the filters are up to code. Something I gotta do. If they're doing construction, I'll wear a hard hat. I'm not afraid of looking dumb.
Okay, well, sorry, I was given explicit orders not to let anybody in, and I haven't heard of, I didn't realize you would need clearance to get through here, so I'm not sure who you should talk to, but I don't think I can let you in.
Listen, Jeremy. It's nice to meet you, Jeremy. But I really do need to get in there. I'm a agent of a national agency, and I do need to get in there. And I do not want to have to close down the entire aquarium because some minimum wage worker was maybe confused about the instructions or was not told something.
Well,
I just need to get in there real quick. It takes like, I don't know, 10 minutes for me, depending on the size of the tide pool, 10, 15 minutes for me to go through everything.
Why don't you roll to manipulate somebody?
Do. This is not my strongest thing to do. I'm gonna fail
We need
this
Debbie.
roll.
Okay, so they'll let you in, but only if you do something for them right now to show that you mean it.
Okay, now I do have to ask about the rule about this, though. This is just me talking to you, the keeper. When it says to do something for them right now, that does not mean that I have to, like, bribe
No.
them. A show of force would count or something, too,
Yeah,
right?
they'll do it if you do something to sway them. So whether that's you could forcibly get your way in, whether that's through physical violence threat or what it more sounds like is more of a look, I'm very important and this is a national agency and something like that.
Yeah. I'm going to say, now, Jeremy, what's your last name?
Peters.
All right. I take out a pad and I write down Jeremy Peters on it, and then I put it back in my suit pocket. I'm about to walk in to this tide pool. Do you understand? I'm going to do that. And if you try to stop me, or you tell me once again that I'm not allowed to, I will close down this whole thing. And I will write in the official document that Jeremy Peters was the one that did not allow me to conclude my inspection of the Defiance Bay Zoo and Aquarium. And I don't think that either of us want to do that. I certainly don't. It's a lot of paperwork. You certainly don't, because I've worked a lot of jobs in my life, and I can promise you, you would be fired.
Okay, yeah, that's okay. I can let you in, but you have to be quick, okay? I
told you, 10, 15 minutes tops, Jeremy.
Can you make it 5?
I can make it 8, 12 minutes tops.
Okay, just go.
Look, Jeremy. All right. And I go in
through the gate, and it looks like to the keen observer, you know that there's something off. Though, if you were kind of just glancing, it does look like there's some construction happening, but it doesn't look like anything in the actual tide pool has been affected. Like there's not things that have been moved. The water hasn't been drained. There's still all the normal like rocks and sort of fake plants and sort of texture structures. There's nothing. It doesn't seem like if in fact they are doing construction, that it has started yet.
Yeah, I assume that would be the case. Is there a place where I could sneak in, Charlie? Or
that gate sort of that you went through was seemingly the only entrance.
How tall is the fence?
I would say it's probably 8 feet or so.
8 feet or so. Okay.
When Alex starts to see Charlie looking at the fence and trying to get over there, Alex just grabs Charlie and tries to fly them in.
Okay. Give me that roll, son.
I was gonna... Okay, let's go for it.
Oh, 8 again.
Right.
Okay.
What are my options? How can I punish you? So since you didn't have very far to go, Hawk is just on the other side of that fence, basically. You're pretty confident that you can get you both there. However, you land at Hawk's feet just fine. Charlie does not though, and you sort of overshoot where you're supposed to be, and Charlie sails into the water of the tide pool. Charlie, you're kind of surprised. You didn't really have time to catch your breath, so you're kind of flailing to get your bearings. You kind of land in a part that's not, if you kind of fell on your like backwards, it's not necessarily like you can stand up and reach the surface.
Mm-hmm.
So you're sort of struggling to get your bearings, and as you do, you feel really uneasy. It's almost akin to what you had been feeling in your dream. You can clearly see the water around you, and there's nothing. There's no immediate threat. But
am I getting my headaches again?
You do start to feel kind of a slight headache. It's not as bad as it has been, but you kind of start to feel this pain, and you feel really, and you do start to draw some of those parallels to the premonition that you've had.
Charlie's gonna look around the water and see if he sees anything in the water.
Let me have you roll to act under pressure.
Act under pressure. That's plus cool?
Yes, it is. But so the reason I want you to do this is because you are struggling to get your bearings, but also trying to take stock of your surroundings.
That's a good point.
So I don't think like the results are going to be like super terrible if you miss.
Mm-hmm.
But I feel like in order for you to properly do that, you'll need to roll 10. You do what you set out to do.
So Charlie being now this being like the third time that Charlie hasn't been transported properly, is starting to get used to like, okay, if Alex is taking you, just be used to kind of adapt quickly. And as he's kind of being jerked into the water, he's just like searching around, probably below him, around for any sort of silhouettes.
You get your bearings relatively quickly, being used to shenanigans by now.
Oh, he brings out his pocket watch. He like has his pocket watch out.
Okay, so you sort of take in stock of everything that you're seeing, and like I said, you feel uneasy and you feel a slight pain in your head, but you don't feel much. There's no silhouettes around you. It feels like all of the wildlife that has been in this exhibit has been removed. You don't feel threatened. There's nothing coming to get you. You don't sense any presence. Although something happened here, given just by the symptoms that you're having, you're not in immediate danger, and it has since, moved from this location. So there's nothing super significant about the location now.
Okay. Charlie surfaces and tries to like swim towards Hawk and Alex.
Yeah, you don't have to go far before you can start to like get your bearings and start walking on the bottom of the pool.
Charlie's looking around and seeing if anyone noticed the big splash coming around.
Yeah, I like that. So as that's happening, the gate like starts to open, and Jeremy's like, "Hey, you okay there? You can't be making a mess of things. Don't."
As the gate's opening, Charlie gets in the water.
Fair enough. Like I could be in a lot of trouble.
I know, Jeremy. I promise you, I will be done here in about 3 minutes. You do understand that I do have to take samples of the water and things like that, right?
It just feels like an awful lot of noise for...
Alright, I tripped. You caught me. Federal agent, I tripped a little bit. My bad.
Okay, do you want a towel, or...
Nah, I'm good.
Okay.
But thank you, Jeremy. You are a kind individual.
Okay. And he shuts the gate.
Charlie surfaces a little bit, so only his eyes and like the bridge in the top part of his nose is like showing up, and he's like looking around.
Get out of there, Charlie. You are not a crocodile. Get out of that
As
water.
as soon as Hawkins says "get out," he like sinks his head back in and then just comes out of the water.
All right, Charlie, how you feeling? And this is hush hush. Oh, get back down to a whisper.
Okay. It used to be here. It's not here anymore, but it's been vacated from the premises. I'm getting a slight headache, not similar to when we were in the forest. That was a lot more powerful, but it used to be here.
Charlie, this is gonna sound like probably the worst advice I could probably ever give you. I want you to lean a little bit into that head.
Okay. Do you think that's the best the best course of action?
No, but I have recently read a few of the Harry Potter books. I recently read the 6th one. I feel like this is a Harry Potter and Voldemort situation, and if you just lean into it just a little bit, maybe you can see where it went. That headache, it just has to be your connection with it. Trust me, I am the professional. Don't lean too much into it, because I don't want you turning into a crazy monster. But
that is your job title. Okay. And Charlie starts to pop open the pocket watch and starts to kind of grip it open and tries to tune in to that headache.
You need to give me a roll plus weird.
Submit.
Holy shit.
What up?
13!
Whoa! Okay, that's a 13. So you get to hold 3. So you can spend 1 hold to ask the keeper one of the following questions. So any of those questions.
Where's the creature right now?
The creature right now, you get the sense that it's been evacuated, obviously, from the area. You don't know if that's it ran or why it's leaving, but it's sort of weird when you try to tune in to this creature's whereabouts. You get almost like a fragmented, staticky signal that feels disjointed and separate. You're not getting one single location. It almost feels like it's bouncing all over the place.
Shit.
You get the sense that this place is significant. Obviously, the tide pool was the source of something. But as for where it's gone, it's kind of all over the place.
What is it planning to do right now?
You hearken back to what you've dreamt of and sort of the headspace that you've been in, and you feel hungry. You just feel motivated by hunger. Like you have to find something. So you get the sense that this monster is just concerned with feeding.
Okay, and last question. How can I attract its attention?
By providing it opportunity to feed.